Welcome to the second Vanguard of Fighter here on my channel. This is a replay I've had for, I'm gonna guess, just over 2 weeks. I called it Ezel Football. Football because I'm using Spike Brothers, and Ezel because my opponent was using Grand Ezel Scissors. I had this replay for a while, just didn't really think too much about uploading it, didn't really feel like it. Now I feel like recording one. I wanted to do it yesterday, but it was already really late, so I decided to do it today. Things you should know. This card fight happened like a day or two after Grand Ezel Scissors was revealed, and therefore put on this game, which was like a couple of days after that, so like 4 or 5 days after it was revealed. I didn't know all of the rulings yet, so I got one of the rulings wrong in the card fight. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Um, the deck I'm using is a basic Spike Brothers deck. I just wanted to make a basic deck that I wouldn't really say that's trial deck level, but just what I felt had the least complicated effects, but still had the normal 17, 14, 11, 8 distribution of all the grades. So I decided to go with this. I'm going to go with 2 speed because I recall this replay taking quite long. Last time I did 1.5 times. I'm going to go 2 times. Hopefully that works. There's advantages and disadvantages to these card fight replays. That if a player waits really long with making a move, then the replay also does that. Like in DevPro, for example, for Yu-Gi-Oh, that is skipped. Same for like Pokemon X and Y in those battle replays. Here it does happen. So there's advantages and disadvantages to it. It's more disadvantages, I feel, but let's go. I start off with Mecha Trainer because I guess to be more basic, I could have taken the 6000 like the vanilla starter. I decided to go with this one instead. What? Yeah, I was thinking I also get rid of the heel trigger. I have a grade 1 and a grade 3. Want a grade 2. Don't get a grade 2 in my redraw though, so I will need to find it in a draw or drive check somewhere. I do get Spike Bouncer, so that's good stuff. Ride Wonder Boy, Mecha Trainer to back, nothing too special. Opponent called Dindren. Spring Breeze Messenger, that's probably the best starter for Grand Ezel Scissors. Also for Grand Ezel Scissors, the episode from yesterday has Grand Ezel Scissors in it. I haven't actually seen the episode. I know that Gold Ezel is in it. Blonde Ezel, I mean. But apparently Grand Ezel Scissors is in there as well. So, we'll see. I haven't yet watched that episode. I'm about to watch it after I've uploaded this video. So I ride into the only grade 2 that I have at the time, Spike Bouncer. I'm like, oh, let's see what can I do. I'm like, okay, Mecha Trainer skill, so I can get another grade 1. So I have a nice booster or an extra attacker because I felt like going all out with this one. Lately, I haven't been going all out that much, but I have this time, I guess. When I was doing this, I was quite of the all out. When you can attack, attack, and just go for it, go all out. That was pretty much the strategy I have for this deck. Not with the next one. I have another replay saved already. That one is supposed to keep your opponent at 3 damage, and then in 1 turn sweep the rest. That's that's definitely my new favorite deck. In the replay that comes after this. But yeah, I ride Rapid House, which is I'm gonna get like some of these names aren't correct. Pretty sure Rapid House is not the correct name. Like some of the Liberators, like they put the translated Japanese names in, and when the English names are revealed, some of them are changed, some of them aren't. So some of the things I'm like, where is this Liberator? Where's Elixir Liberator? And then I look for that and I can't find it because it's called Liberator of Elixir because that was a translated name or something. Yeah, this one. Yeah, Liberator of Elixir. So that's kind of weird. I decided to attack with Skydiver normally so that I could then, when it hits, put it back and then have Panzergil replace it. Doesn't work. I do get a stand trigger, so I'm like, okay, stand Skydiver. I'll just boost with Wonder Boy this time to make that work. Because I'm like, I do kind of want to keep Skydiver in a sense. I can still use Panzergil for like 5,000 guard, but really I do want it to be like on the front or rear guard so I can use it for intercept because this is a 10k shield. And normally, when a grade 2 intercept, you have 5,000 shield, but with there's certain units that are grade 2 and 8,000 attack, And when they intercept, and the Vanguard is of the same clan that they are from, in case of Panzergale with Spike Brothers, it gains another 5,000 shield, making it a 10,000 shield. So that's really nice. And here my opponent drive checks into Grand Ezel Scissors. They already drew into one earlier, so they already have two. Now the break ride you really want with this deck is Blaoberus, because Grand Ezel Scissors, for its skill to work, requires all 5 rear guards to be filled. And Blaoberus, when you break ride, not only gives the basic 10,000 power, but it also allows you to superior call the top 2 cards of his deck. And my opponent gets some pretty good superior calls from the deck later when the break ride does happen. Here I'm like, okay, what do I want to call? I don't have too many great ones to boost. I don't want to use the draw trigger. I kind of want to keep that for defense. So I do call Gyro Slinger here, I do believe. Yep, Gyro Slinger behind there. Now my Rapid House can't actually hit Blaoberus. That's the problem. So I'm like, now that I think about it, why didn't I call Cheerful Lynx? I actually knew I could get past. And especially when I attack with, I'm pretty sure I attack one of the rear guards first because I do have a chance of having stand triggers. But due to the opponent now getting a trigger, I need 2 triggers to just get past with Rapid House. So in a sense, I should have placed like the draw trigger behind it, because 5,000 on attack, 5,000 on defense. And the opponent may have actually guarded the attack. Attack with this, it gets a heal trigger. The counterblast is gone, which is very nice for Grand Ezel Scissors later on. Calls Grand Ezel Scissors, doesn't actually break ride yet, because there is no 4th damage. That's heal trigger is usually good, but you have to use the effect if you are able to. So otherwise, the opponent would have probably just kept the 4th damage if the heal trigger would have been optional, and then break ride onto Blaoberus and just attack with Grand Ezel Scissors using its skill, because it's really good. Its skill is, and it's a limit break, so you need 4 damage for it. You unlock all of your locked cards. That's the first line. And knowing like my Yu-Gi-Oh terminology and how Yu-Gi-Oh cards are written, that I assumed that was an activation requirement, that you need to unlock units, therefore you need locked units to actually be able to activate it. Seemed to not be the case. I looked it up during the card fight. You'll see a small pause in the duel where we talk about this. I looked it up on the card fight wiki, and that did seem to be the case. It's not a requirement, it's just another effect that's part of it. You need to have 5 Gold Paladin rear guards, which the opponent will have thanks to Blaoberus' break ride skill. Grand Ezel Scissors will gain 10,000 power, M plus 1 critical, but it does cost 2 Counterblast and 2 Soul Blast. You'll have in your soul at the time you break ride Grand Ezel Scissors a grade 0, a grade 1, grade 2, and a grade 3, normally. So you'd be able to use the skill twice. The thing is, at the end of the turn that you activate this skill, you unflip a damage and you soul charge 1, which means after having used the skill twice, therefore counterblasting 4 and soul blasting 4, let's say you're still at 4 damage, you wouldn't have any damage yet to flip, and you wouldn't have any soul. But at the end of the second turn, you'd have unflip 2 damage and soul charge 2 more, so you could use the skill 3 times if you have free counterblasts. Here the opponent break rides. Blaoberus' skill comes in a grade 1 and a grade 0. Nice for boosters, because that's really what the opponent wanted here. Grand Ezel Scissors, as the Vanguard, also gains another 1,000 power for each Gold Paladin rear guard, so that's another 5,000 added. So now the skill is activated, gets him to 3,100 plus the 5,000 from the rear guard, 36,000. I should say 1,000, not 100. Quite some difference. Yeah, 36. That's without boosts, without triggers. It is with the break ride skill, but even without the break ride skill, Grand Ezel Scissors can get 26,000 power and 2 critical without a boost. 3 turns in a row. Well, assuming you start off with 4 cards in the soul, or you have something that soul charges. I do have a decent field with some stuff, Slinger, Gary Cannon, Wonder Boy. I have my intercept on the field, Panzergale. I was like, okay, I'm going to place that. I'm going to use it so I can replace it with Rapid House. I do have a Perfect Guard, I believe, yeah. So I might actually use the Perfect Guard to discard Rapid House, because the only thing, once you already have ridden a grade 3, you don't intend to break ride or ride on top of it for like cross ride or whatever. The only thing you can really use a grade 3/4 is just attacking in like the front row rear guards. The grade 2s you can do that with. You can do that as well, and then still intercept. But then I usually keep the grade 3s in my hand to use for perfect guards, because whether in your hand or as intercept, grade 2s will still have 5,000 shield, so that doesn't really matter. So as long as I have a grade 2 replacement for like here, which in this case is Trevor's Black Panther, which by the way looks a lot like Beast Warrior Pumon in Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll just use the perfect guards to discard the grade 3s, which I'll probably do here, because like 41,000? It's kind of strong. I don't think I'm gonna survive that. I want to take that because I'm not gonna be able to block it normally. Opponent gets Blue Bears and another draw trigger. Opponent has been pretty good with triggers too. Heal trigger, not necessarily when they wanted it, but they did get a trigger and they were able to get the combo off next turn. A good amount of draw triggers, which is helpful to get Grand Ezel Scissors in your hand and some other stuff that you may want. There is a risk the opponent is taking with this though, and later opponent has this card in their hand. I can't actually select it, which is unfortunate. But this card right here, it's a Quintet Wall. A perfect guard like Marilyn. Pretty sure I can actually click on it. Yeah, here. Perfect guard like Marilyn. You see, come on, this symbol on the later perfect guards that is stated what that's called, but I forget the actual name. But you're only allowed to have 4 perfect guards. Now that was because the perfect guard had a certain skill name, Sentinel, as shown here on Hail Liberator Mark. Now, Quintet Walls, as you can see right over here, also have that same sort of symbol. They're also Sentinels, so you can use 2 perfect guards and then 2 Quintet Walls, but you can't use 4 perfect guards for Quintet Walls. Now, Quintet Walls, they don't give you perfect guard, but what it does do is, at the cost of 1 counterblast, you call the top 5 cards of your deck to your Guardian Circle and guard with that. So you'll have like around 25,000 guard, which is still a lot of guard. You can always play additional guards if you feel unsure, if you feel 25,000 may not actually be enough. But the guard you can get from a Quintet Wall is quite a lot. But with that, that does cost the top 5 cards of your deck, and the opponent has been twin driving quite a bit and doing stuff and quite a few draw triggers, and this fight does actually go on for quite a few turns. So what this actually does, and I don't actually notice this until the opponent actually says so after using the Quintet Wall, which is either this turn or the next, the opponent doesn't have a lot of cards in the deck. And what I did realize, I believe I did learn that just before this game. No, must have been just after. Because I remember with Yu-Gi-Oh, if your deck is empty, you only lose when you are forced to draw. When you have no cards. And apparently in Vanguard, you lose as soon as your deck reaches 0. That is what I've learned. So let's say you would have 3 cards at the top of your deck, and you attack, you twin drive, and you would have won with that attack, but the second card in the twin drive is a draw trigger. Then you draw that 3rd card before the damage is dealt, therefore your deck is at 0 and therefore you lose. Apparently that did actually happen like a few weeks ago at some kind of tournament match, which is unfortunate for that player, but that's the rule, so I guess you can't really change that. The opponent is at 7 cards, and the opponent's just going to go twin drive, pretty sure get another draw trigger. But yeah, the opponent is able to use Grand Ezel Scissors' skill once more due to the soul charge that was obtained. 26,000 power again, trying to take out my strong intercept. I'm like, okay, I can guard that with 15,000 shield, but it only gives me 10,000 shield, so I'm not going to do that. Not going to guard against the Vanguard attack this time, like as long as they don't get a crit. Now the opponent's at 3, and the opponent does state that they're probably going to lose. I still have a good amount of guards left. I may have 5 damage, but I have 1 intercept left and a good amount of cards I can guard for either 5,000 or 10,000. That's really good for me. So as long as I can stall out the opponent's attacks, I can do it. Now, the opponent doesn't have to attack with their Vanguard. If they had to, then they'd lose as soon as their turn goes, because, like, the twin drive. But as long as I can just wait, like stall them out, I win. The opponent doesn't have to attack with the Vanguard, so I could do one of 2 things. Either try and take him, just try and take him out normally, or just take out his offensive force. I know that he won't be attacking with his Vanguard due to the fact that he'd immediately lose if he does so. So what would be smart is to take out his rear guards to take out that offensive force. Now, he'll probably have cards to replace it with. Like, as you can see, he has another Grand Ezel Scissors here in his hand. But, and he has a couple others like Grade 2s, Grade 1s, but there's a chance that they're weaker, usually. Bugdy Magus, since the Vanguard is Ezel, can actually get to 12,000 attack power. But usually they won't be as strong as 11,000. And then that's not counting the boost. So another thing I could have done was just take out the rear guard so the opponent wouldn't have as much offensive force, which would make it easier for me to guard, which would make it easier for me to stall him out. I do decide to just go for the attack. And the opponent does guard it. Also, with when I attack with Vanguard, I believe the opponent goes for 2 to pass, which means I need to get both triggers. I'm like, okay, wait, what do I do? Because the first one is a trigger, and I'm like, who do I give it to? I can give it to Wonder Boy and force him to use another guard next turn, or I could give it to a Vanguard, and then would I get another trigger to seal the game there? Thinking about it now, I could have really done both, but I really did not see a way with all of the shield that I had in my hand and the one intercept on the field. I didn't see a way I would lose, so I'm like, okay, let's just go for the Vanguard and hope for the second trigger, and let's see if I can do that. Didn't get it, unfortunately, but I'm like, nah, it's okay, I'm gonna win next turn anyway. So Wonder Boy can't really do anything because it doesn't have enough power. I end my turn, opponent stands, draws, whatever. Rise a new card. I don't really know why, but it doesn't really matter in the end anyway. I'm just gonna guard and yeah, then make a slight mistake here thinking that he has less power than he does. Just gonna guard, his Vanguard's not gonna attack because then he would lose. My turn again, stand on the Toro. Get another 5,000 shield. Any shield is nice here. I attack his Vanguard. He guards, but then in the end he's like, you know what? I'm not gonna guard anymore. I'll just take the damage. No guard. I'm actually gonna. He does let me drive check, but it doesn't really matter. He takes the damage, and I actually beat Grand Ezel Scissors. If we look at who had the advantage of the entire game, it was clearly the opponent with the power of Grand Ezel Scissors. I made a Grand Ezel Scissors deck like a day or two after this fight happened. I really like the deck. I haven't been able to play it much because really, like, random opponents it's okay, but I just really prefer just playing with friends like Ben or Seb. Ben I haven't been able to play against. Seb sometimes he doesn't always feel like playing, which is, I guess, for me, unfortunate. But, you know, it stuff like that happens. Also, what I did realize, like, I only just realized this right now, and I recall I did this with the previous card fight video. This is the top of the screen, and this is the side of the screen. So this video won't exactly look too nice. What I did with the previous one, I sort of changed the dimensions. I recall. I forgot to do that for this one, so I apologize for that. That I forgot to change the dimensions. I'll do my best to remember that for the next video, because now you won't see the top of the screen greatly. Now you can still see the entire field, but then like the cards in the hand when I was showing stuff, you can't really see that. So I'll try to remember that for the next one. I hope you enjoyed the game. Maybe learned something from it. I'm not going to go into too much of the details of how to play Vanguard with these videos. This is more for the people that just enjoy watching stuff and like already sort of know how Vanguard works. But still, even through these videos, I hope that even the non-Vanguard fans, the people who don't really know how to play it, will still sort of learn something from it. I guess it would be kind of fun. If you have questions about how Vanguard works, then just ask them in the comments and I'll answer them for you. That would not be a problem. Alright, this was this video. If I could please ask you to go back a few days in my videos and go to the Mad Lib Part 1 video. I'm looking for like 1 or 2 more submissions, like people who submit their lists of words, so that I can make the second part of the Mad Lib. I've already like
given Seb a preview, and he loves it. And if more people submit their words, I can choose even funnier and crazier things. So please go do that. And I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Bye.